The sun was high above the skies of Samaria. Its rays scorched the earth below, beating down restlessly. It was around the valley of Samaria where Jesus was traveling on his way to Galilee. The Jews hated the Samaritans and held deep prejudices against them. Usually any Jewish traveler walked around Samaria. Not Jesus. He decided to travel through it. The afternoon sun was merciless, and Jesus' disciples departed to get food. Jesus walked towards a single well resting on the bottom of a hill. A Samaritan woman was drawing water there in the heat of day. It was a peculiar sight, since most women gathered water for the day early in the morning to escape the sun. Jesus sat on a rock beside the well. The woman saw him there, but paid no attention to him. Jesus looked up at the sun, then back at the woman. "You mind drawing me some water?" Jesus asked. The woman looked up at him. Her face was cold and impassive. "Now why would a Jew want a woman from Samaria to draw him water?" she said as she lowered the bucket down into the well. Jesus smiled, not allowing her harsh tone to bother him. "If you knew who was asking you for water, you would ask me for living water," Jesus replied. The woman looked Jesus up and down. "You have nothing to draw water with. Where would you get flowing and living water from anyways? This is a well." Jesus stood up and walked closer to the well. He looked down into the water below and said, "Whoever drinks this water will be thirsty again. They will surely have to keep coming back, but whoever drinks of the water I give will never thirst again." The woman did her best to hide her shock. She had been coming to the well for years and hated every single trip. She was shunned by the other women, so she had to draw in the middle of the day when the sun was high and hot. "I need this living water," she said impatiently. "I never want to come back here again." Jesus paused for a moment. "Very well. Go and call your husband," he said casually. The woman looked away. "I don't have a husband," she replied. "Ah, yes," Jesus said. "You are right. You have no husband." Jesus looked her in the eyes. "You have had 5 husbands, and the man you are living with now is not your husband." The woman held back tears with a fake smile as she tried to change the subject. "Sir, I perceive you are a prophet. You know this well is sacred ground. Our forefathers worshipped here on the mountain, although the Jews say that the temple is the place we should worship now." The woman was speaking quickly. Her eyes were watering. There was pain behind her religious small talk. Jesus could feel her anguished heart. He had struck a chord by mentioning her 5 divorces. He approached the other side of the well and sat next to her. He gave a reassuring smile and looked into the distance. "Believe me, the time is coming when people won't worship on a mountain or in a temple. The true worshippers will worship in spirit and in truth." The woman nodded. "Yes, I suppose they will when the Messiah comes. He will tell us how and where we should truly worship." Jesus nodded. He smiled from cheek to cheek as he looked the woman in the eye. "Yes, he will. I am he." As Jesus was saying this, his disciples were returning with their lunch. They saw Jesus from a distance and judged him for speaking to a Samaritan woman, although none of them said anything or asked why he was speaking to her. They saw the woman leap up from where she was sitting and run away back to the city. The woman ran fast and with great joy. She knocked on every door in the city. "Quick! To the well! Come quick!" People poked their heads out of their doors and windows. "You must come see this man. He told me everything about me. I think he may be the Christ." So the Samaritans left their homes to come see Jesus. They sat at his feet and listened to him teach for 2 days. Many believed as they heard him speak.